What if the Earth itself is trying to tell us something? The Aegean Sea, a region rich in ancient history and spiritual energy, is now experiencing an alarming seismic swarm. A geophysicist has sounded the alarm, warning that a major earthquake may be imminent. But beyond the scientific facts, could there be a deeper divine message hidden within these tremors? Are these signals of a shift, a wake-up call for humanity? In this video, we will explore the unfolding events, not just from a physical perspective, but through a spiritual lens, because when the Earth moves, so does the spirit of the universe. Why are we seeing unusual signs in the Aegean? Throughout history, the Earth has communicated with us through natural phenomena, and right now, the Aegean Sea is speaking loudly. The sudden increase in seismic activity is not just another random event. Scientists are reporting that deep movements beneath the Earth's crust are forming patterns that indicate an approaching large-scale event. But for those with spiritual awareness, this is more than just shifting tectonic plates. It is a sign of transformation. The Aegean region, particularly around Santorini, has always been a hotspot of energy, both physically and metaphysically. The land remembers every eruption, every tremor, and every moment of history. This increase in activity suggests that something is being awakened beneath the Earth's surface. Many spiritual traditions speak of the Earth as a living entity, holding memories of the past and guiding humanity toward its next chapter. When great shifts occur, they often coincide with times of awakening or revelation. The ancients saw these moments as signals from the heavens, a call to align with higher consciousness. Could this seismic unrest be a part of a greater divine shift that humanity is yet to fully understand? People who are sensitive to energy have already reported a strange unease in the area. Some describe vivid dreams, feelings of heaviness, or even a sense of being drawn toward the Aegean without knowing why. This raises an important question. Are we being intuitively prepared for something much bigger than we can comprehend? Many who live near the region feel an unexplainable urgency, as if the Earth itself is guiding them toward an unknown path. The modern world often dismisses natural events as purely scientific, but history tells us otherwise. From biblical accounts to ancient mythology, great changes on Earth have always been linked to deeper spiritual movements. What we are witnessing now could be another chapter in this eternal story. Those who are attuned to the spiritual realm may feel the vibrations before the physical world even reacts. The Earth whispers before it roars. Are we listening? The Aegean's seismic activity is more than just a series of earthquakes. It is a sign of greater forces at work. Whether we view this as a warning, an awakening, or a shift, one thing is clear. The world is not the same as it was yesterday, and it will not be the same tomorrow. Earth's tremors, a message beyond science. Science provides us with measurements, predictions, and data. But there is something beyond numbers and calculations, something ancient and sacred. The Earth has always been a messenger, and in times of great change, it speaks through its movements. When earthquakes occur, many believe they are not just shifts in the ground, but shifts in energy, consciousness, and divine balance. The question is, what message is being delivered through the tremors in the Aegean? For centuries, various cultures have believed that the Earth does not move without reason. Indigenous wisdom, biblical teachings, and ancient prophecies all speak of how natural disasters often precede major shifts in human civilization. These shifts are not just physical. They are spiritual transformations that signal the beginning of a new era. The Aegean region, home to some of the world's most ancient civilizations, has witnessed countless such events. Could this be another pivotal moment in the grand design? There is a belief that before major spiritual awakenings, the Earth itself must undergo purification. In the same way that personal growth often comes through struggle and challenge, the planet, too, must experience its own cleansing. Some view these tremors as a necessary shift, shaking loose what no longer serves humanity, preparing the ground for something new. Perhaps this is not a disaster, but a divine preparation for what is to come. But why now? Why this location? Santorini, in particular, has long been linked to the legendary lost city of Atlantis, a civilization believed to have been destroyed by a great catastrophe. Some believe that remnants of Atlantis energy still linger beneath the sea, and that the seismic activity is reawakening something ancient and forgotten. Is this a resurfacing of hidden knowledge, or is history repeating itself? Regardless of one's beliefs, the message remains clear. The Earth is shifting, and it demands our attention. Whether we interpret this as a warning, an awakening, or a reminder of divine power, one thing is certain. These tremors carry more than just geological significance. They carry the weight of something far greater, something beyond science, something beyond human understanding. Santorini's seismic swarm. What are experts saying? Scientists have been closely monitoring the ongoing seismic swarm near Santorini, and their findings are both fascinating and concerning. The region, known for its volatile history, is experiencing an unusual pattern of earthquakes that suggest deep movement beneath the Earth's crust. Geophysicists have issued warnings, emphasizing that conditions are aligning in a way that could lead to a major event. But while they analyze data, the deeper question remains: what is truly happening beneath the surface? Seismic swarms are different from isolated earthquakes. Instead of one major tremor followed by aftershocks, a swarm consists of multiple quakes occurring in rapid succession. This suggests that the tectonic plates are under intense stress and could be preparing for a major release of energy. Some experts believe that these swarms are precursors to volcanic activity, which is particularly significant given Santorini's history as an active volcanic region. The Santorini Volcano, which last erupted in 1950, has long been considered one of the most dangerous in the world. A major eruption thousands of years ago is believed to have wiped out entire civilizations. Now, with the Earth stirring once again, experts are raising concerns about what could happen if the activity continues to escalate. Could we be on the verge of another catastrophic event, or is this simply a natural cycle repeating itself? While scientists focus on data, spiritual perspectives offer a different lens. Many believe that seismic activity in historically significant areas is a sign of an energetic reset. The land itself may be releasing old energies, clearing space for new frequencies to emerge. Could Santorini be a key location in an unfolding global transformation? Those who are attuned to energy shifts often report feeling different when visiting such places. Some describe a sense of urgency, others an overwhelming peace, as if the Earth is speaking directly to their spirit. Whether we view this from a scientific standpoint or a spiritual one, the reality is clear. Something is happening in the Aegean, and it is not to be ignored. The tremors beneath Santorini are a reminder of the Earth's immense power, and perhaps a call for us to awaken to the greater forces at play. This is a time for awareness, reflection, and most importantly, preparation, not just physically, but spiritually. The Aegean's ancient energy and spiritual warnings. The Aegean Sea has always been more than just a body of water. It is a cradle of civilization, an energetic vortex, and a place where history whispers through the waves. From the ancient Greeks to the lost civilization of Atlantis, this region has been the backdrop for countless myths, legends, and spiritual awakenings. The energy that resides here is deeply rooted in both human consciousness and the Earth's own history. The recent seismic activity is not merely a geological event. It is an energetic shift that is sending a message. Those who are sensitive to the Earth's frequencies feel an undeniable pull toward the Aegean, sensing that something significant is unfolding. Ancient texts and oral traditions suggest that certain areas on Earth serve as spiritual gateways, portals where divine and earthly energies intersect. The Aegean has long been regarded as one such place. Temples, oracles, and sacred sites have been built upon its islands, each placed with precise alignment to cosmic and terrestrial forces. Could it be that the recent tremors are not just physical shifts, but spiritual awakenings? Many believe that natural disasters are often accompanied by heightened spiritual awareness, as though the land itself is calling out to be heard. The island of Santorini, which sits at the heart of this seismic activity, carries a history unlike any other. It is believed to have been home to the Minoans, an advanced civilization that mysteriously vanished after a catastrophic volcanic eruption thousands of years ago. Some scholars and mystics argue that this was the real-life Atlantis, a utopian society wiped away by nature's fury. If this region is indeed a place of lost wisdom, what might it be trying to reveal now? Are the tremors signs of buried truths being unearthed? Spiritual seekers often experience profound revelations when visiting such regions of high energy. It is said that these places hold vibrations that can elevate human consciousness, aligning us with the wisdom of the past and the possibilities of the future. But just as high-frequency energy can bring enlightenment, it can also bring disruption. If the land is in turmoil, could it be mirroring the collective state of human consciousness? As the world faces unprecedented change, the Earth responds in its own way, urging us to pay attention, to wake up. Whether one sees these seismic shifts as warnings or awakenings, one truth remains: the Aegean is alive with energy, history, and messages waiting to be understood. It is up to us to listen, not just with our minds, but with our spirits. The question is, are we prepared to truly hear what the Earth is telling us? Earthquakes in prophecy. Are we being forewarned? Throughout history, earthquakes have been viewed not just as natural disasters, but as divine signals, warnings of great change or impending judgment. From ancient scriptures to modern spiritual revelations, seismic events have often preceded times of transformation. The idea that the Earth's movements are connected to spiritual shifts is not new, but in our modern world of technology and science, we often dismiss these signs as mere coincidence. Could it be that we are ignoring the very warnings that have been given to us throughout time? Prophecies from various cultures speak of a time when the Earth will tremble, signaling the transition from one age to another. In many ancient texts, earthquakes are described as harbingers of change, moments when the physical and spiritual worlds collide. Some believe that we are living in such times now, where the old structures of the world are being dismantled to make way for something new. The Aegean, with its history of great civilizations and sudden catastrophes, may be at the epicenter of this unfolding shift. There is a recurring pattern in history. Before great awakenings, there is often great destruction. This does not necessarily mean devastation in the way we understand it, but rather a breaking down of old energies to allow new frequencies to emerge. Just as a forest must sometimes burn to allow for new growth, so too must the Earth release energy in order to realign. Many spiritual leaders argue that what we see as destruction is actually preparation. The question is, preparation for what? The tremors in the Aegean are not just about tectonic shifts, they are about spiritual alignment. Those who are attuned to energy shifts often report feelings of unease before major events occur. This is because, on a subconscious level, we are all connected to the Earth's energy field. When it moves, we feel it, some in dreams, others in intuition, and some through unexplained emotions. What if these feelings are not just random, but a direct communication from the universe? Ignoring the signs has never served humanity well. History has shown that those who pay attention, who listen to the rhythms of the Earth and the wisdom of the past, are the ones who navigate change with clarity and purpose. Whether we view these seismic warnings as science, prophecy, or energy shifts, one thing is certain: change is upon us. And in times of change, the greatest power we hold is awareness. How to stay spiritually grounded amidst uncertainty. When the ground beneath us is shaking, both literally and metaphorically, fear can easily take hold. It is in these moments of uncertainty that our spiritual foundation is tested. But fear does not have to be our response. Instead, we can use these moments to strengthen our connection to faith, to the divine, and to the wisdom that has guided humanity through countless ages of turmoil. Staying spiritually grounded is not about ignoring reality. It is about facing it with clarity, trust, and inner peace. One of the most powerful ways to remain spiritually grounded is through presence. When external chaos arises, the mind often races toward panic, creating fear that is greater than the situation itself. But when we root ourselves in the present moment, we reclaim our power. Deep breathing, prayer, and mindful awareness allow us to detach from fear-based reactions and instead focus on divine guidance. This does not mean ignoring reality, but approaching it with wisdom and discernment. Faith has always been the anchor in times of uncertainty. When we cultivate trust in a higher plan, we free ourselves from the grip of fear. Many great spiritual figures faced storms, both literal and figurative, yet remained unshaken because they knew that divine presence was with them. It is in these moments of great upheaval that faith is most needed, not blind faith, but faith that is strengthened by understanding. The more we align with divine energy, the less external circumstances can shake us. Another key to staying spiritually grounded is connection. Isolation breeds fear, but unity creates strength. When we come together in shared faith, whether through prayer, discussion, or acts of kindness, we remind ourselves that we are not alone. The Earth's tremors may be great, but so too is the power of collective spirit. Supporting one another, offering reassurance, and holding space for divine guidance allows us to move through uncertainty with grace. We must recognize that every great shift, no matter how unsettling, carries a purpose. The Earth is alive, constantly evolving, just as we are. What appears as destruction may actually be transformation. When we approach these moments with spiritual awareness, we do not succumb to fear. We rise above it. We become the steady ground amidst the shaking world. And in doing so, we become the light that others seek in times of darkness. Divine protection, trusting the higher plan. When chaos shakes the world, it is natural to feel fear, but fear blinds us to a greater truth. Divine protection is always present. The earth may tremble, storms may rage, but nothing happens without the knowledge of the divine. In times of uncertainty, we must remember that there is a higher plan at work, one that surpasses human understanding. What if these events are not meant to destroy, but to awaken? What if the tremors in the Aegean are a call to trust rather than fear? The greatest test of faith is not in times of peace, but in moments when the world feels unstable. Throughout history, those who put their trust in divine wisdom have found themselves protected in ways that defy logic. There are countless stories of people being guided away from danger by an inner voice, a strong feeling, or a sudden change in plans. These are not coincidences. They are reminders that we are never alone. The same force that created the universe, that holds the stars in the sky, is the same force that watches over us. If we align with that divine presence, we will always be where we are meant to be, no matter what is happening around us. Fear is the greatest enemy of spiritual growth. It clouds the mind, weakens the heart, and disconnects us from our divine nature. When we give in to fear, we become lost in the illusion of chaos. But those who stand firm in faith are not easily shaken. They see beyond the immediate crisis and recognize that even in turmoil, there is purpose. The divine plan is not always clear to us, but it is always unfolding. Even earthquakes, storms, and upheavals are part of this greater design. Trusting in that plan allows us to walk through the storm without losing our peace. Many people question why disasters happen if there is divine protection. The answer is not simple, but it is powerful. The world operates on both physical and spiritual laws. The earth must move and shift, just as our spirits must grow and transform. But divine protection does not mean we will never face challenges. It means that even in the storm, we are held. Those who seek guidance, who pray, who remain spiritually aware, will find themselves guided to safety, even in the most unpredictable circumstances. The key is to listen. Divine protection often comes as a whisper, not a shout. It may come as an intuitive nudge, a strong feeling, or a sudden realization that changes our course. When we stay connected to the divine, we become more attuned to these signals. The earth may shake, but we do not have to be shaken. Our foundation is not in the ground beneath us. It is in the divine presence that never leaves us. Trust in that, and no matter what comes, you will stand unshaken. Listening to the signs, what should we do next? When warnings appear, the wise do not ignore them. The earth is speaking. The signs are clear, but the question remains, are we listening? In times of uncertainty, our greatest strength is not in reacting out of fear, but in responding with awareness. The Aegean's tremors are more than just geological events. They are signals that call us to pay attention, to prepare, and to realign with divine wisdom. But what does it truly mean to listen to these signs? First, we must acknowledge that signs do not always come in ways we expect. They may appear as scientific warnings, as dreams, as a strong sense of urgency in the spirit. They may come through messages from others, through patterns we notice, or through an unshakable feeling that something is about to shift. Many people dismiss these feelings as paranoia, but history has shown that those who listen to their intuition often find themselves in the right place at the right time. The universe does not waste warnings. It gives them to those who are willing to hear. Listening to signs is not about living in fear, but about being spiritually prepared. Preparation does not mean panic. It means wisdom. Just as we prepare for storms by securing our homes, we must also prepare spiritually when great shifts are upon us. This means strengthening our faith, staying in tune with divine guidance, and making decisions with clarity, not fear. If the earth is shaking, we must ask ourselves, what is being shaken in our own lives? What is being called to change within us? Another important aspect of listening is recognizing patterns. The Aegean seismic activity is not random. It is part of a cycle, a rhythm that has repeated throughout history. But what if this time it is not just about the land? What if it is about the consciousness of humanity? We live in a world that is changing rapidly, where old systems are collapsing and new energies are rising. Could the earth itself be mirroring this transformation? If so, then the true question is not just what will happen next, but how we will respond to it. The wisest course of action is to remain alert, not anxious, prepared, not panicked. Those who listen to the signs are not caught off guard. They move with the flow of divine wisdom, knowing that whatever comes, they will be guided through it. The earth may be shifting, but so too is human awareness. Perhaps the real warning is not just about an earthquake. It is about waking up before the ground beneath us demands it. The power of prayer in the face of natural disasters. Prayer is not just a ritual. It is a force that shifts reality. In times of great uncertainty, it is easy to feel powerless, to believe that we are at the mercy of events beyond our control. But history has shown time and again that prayer can move mountains, calm storms, and bring peace in the midst of chaos. If the earth is shaking, our response must be to call upon the divine with greater urgency, not in fear, but in faith. Prayer is not an escape. It is an act of spiritual alignment that connects us to the highest power in the universe. Many dismiss prayer as wishful thinking, but those who have truly experienced its power know otherwise. There are countless stories of disasters being averted, of people being spared in the most miraculous ways, of storms dissipating after collective prayer. Some may call this coincidence, but to those who understand divine energy, it is clear. Prayer is a bridge between the physical and the spiritual. When we pray, we do not just ask, we activate. We align ourselves with divine protection, wisdom, and guidance. But prayer is not just about asking for safety. It is about listening. Often in the stillness of prayer, answers come. The voice of divine wisdom speaks to those who are quiet enough to hear it. If we pray only for protection but do not listen for guidance, we miss half the power of prayer. The tremors in the Aegean may be warnings, but they may also be calls to deeper connection. Instead of just asking for the earth to be still, perhaps we should also ask, what is the divine calling us to understand? Another aspect of prayer is collective energy. When people come together in faith, their energy is magnified. There is a reason that in times of crisis, even those who never prayed before find themselves reaching out to the divine. Something within us knows that we are not alone, that there is a greater force we can turn to. Imagine what could happen if not just individuals, but entire communities prayed together. Could the energy of prayer shift the course of events? Many believe it can. Prayer is an anchor. It is the force that keeps us steady when the world shakes. Whether or not a great earthquake comes, whether or not the Aegean continues to tremble, our faith must remain unshaken. Prayer is not about controlling what happens. It is about knowing that whatever happens, we are held in the hands of the divine. The earth is not just a physical structure. It is a living, breathing entity that carries the energy of everything that has ever happened upon it. Just as humans carry emotional burdens that must be released for healing, the earth also undergoes periods of cleansing. Disasters and divine wake-up calls. Throughout history, natural disasters have often been seen as wake-up calls, not punishments, but opportunities for deeper understanding. When the earth moves, it forces us to pay attention, to rethink our priorities, and to awaken to the reality that nothing is permanent. While science explains the mechanics of earthquakes, the spiritual lesson is far greater. These events remind us of something we often forget, that we are not in control of the physical world, but we do have control over our inner world. Many spiritual texts and teachings speak of times when humanity will be called to awaken, and often this awakening comes through great trials. The tremors in the Aegean may be more than just shifting tectonic plates. They may be part of a larger cosmic shift. The earth is moving, but so is human consciousness. Perhaps these seismic events are part of a divine reset, pushing humanity toward a new way of living, thinking, and being. When the land shakes, it disrupts the routine, forcing people to look beyond their daily lives and into the greater mysteries of existence. Fear is the first reaction to disasters, but what if we viewed them differently? What if, instead of panic, we saw these events as moments to reconnect with what truly matters? Too often, people live as though they have endless time, postponing their spiritual growth, their purpose, and their connection with the divine. But when the earth trembles, it reminds us that life is fragile, that time is precious, and that we must awaken now, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. The Aegean seismic activity may be a literal warning, but it is also a metaphorical one. It urges us to shake free from illusions, from distractions, from the sleep that keeps us unaware of the divine presence in our lives. These events are not meant to make us fear, but to make us aware. Awareness leads to preparation, not just physical preparation, but spiritual readiness. If the world is shifting, then we must shift with it, aligning ourselves with the higher path instead of being caught in the tremors of uncertainty. What if disasters are not disasters at all? What if they are divine wake-up calls disguised as chaos? When we stop seeing them as destruction and start seeing them as transformation, we step into a new level of awareness. The earth is speaking. The universe is signaling. The question is, will we answer the call?